That's another thing. How are you and Watts related? What's that relation between you and Watts?
Me and Watts are not related. See, what happened was that when I was a senior in high school, I had got my girlfriend pregnant, and he had said, "Hey, you know what? I know that you have a baby on the way, and I want to help. I do the girls' varsity basketball team, and we need someone to come film the games. You get $20 a game. There's 15 games. Do the math. Like that's all coming to you." I said, "Okay." So as we would go to other cities, we would be on the bus, and since it was girls, they would be on the back and I'd be in the front with Watts. And I started talking to him, getting to know him. He married older. I'm like, "Why didn't you have any kids?" And he was telling me, "Oh, I married older. I didn't really want to deal with that. Like be 45 and have my kid in high school. I didn't want to do that." And as I started getting to know him better and talking to him, I'm like, "You're like a really cool guy, man. I wouldn't mind you being in my daughter's life. Would you be willing to baptize my daughter?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
No way.
So Watts is my compadre.
That's crazy. What?
That's how we're related. Watts is my compa.
Shout out Classic Cards and Collectibles.
You call him compa,
So no, it's funny too. He kept mentioning to everybody, "Oh, this is my goddaughter's dad," and everybody kept on correcting him. "That's your compa. You have to call him. You guys are compas."
Yeah.
And he did. He's like, "This is my goddaughter's dad," and he kept telling people that, and he's been corrected many times. So he's like, "So H, we're compas?" I'm like, "Yes, Watts, we're compas. Ever since he baptized Emily, we've been compas." And he's like, "Oh, okay, because I gotta quit saying my goddaughter's dad. People don't like that."
And we sipping Tallies, hit your block and take over the party. I don't trust
What's good,
nobody,
everybody?
so I'm
Welcome to Tallies with ET, powered by Dark Alley Network. Today we are doing things a little bit different because we got these beers sponsored by Classic Card and Collectibles. So if you guys would like to sponsor, we do not discriminate. White liquor, black liquor, it's all good. Shout out to the live audience coming all the way from Oxnard. We got my boy H with me. Before we begin, I got one rule, and that is that you cannot lie on the mic. We do not lie to the people. You may deny the question, but we do not lie. So let's get fucked up, man. Cheers. Here we go.
If you deny the question, you gotta take a big sip.
All right, H. So, first things first, where'd you get your name from? You from the H-Town or something? Or?
My name is Humberto, and when I was a little kid growing up in school, my teachers couldn't pronounce my name. They would call me Humberto because they couldn't pronounce my name. They would say the H really hyphened, and then they couldn't roll the R. So I got really frustrated. It's my name, and none of my teachers could say it. A lot of the people that I talked to, they couldn't say it.
Okay.
And so I got tired of it. So when I got to second grade, third grade, I told my teacher, "Just call me H. Just call me H. Let's just get it out of the way."
H-I-J-K.
And then they said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's the first letter of my name, so you can't pronounce my name. Just call me by my first letter." So I've been going by H since the third grade.
Okay, third grade. Where'd you go to school at?
In third grade, I was in Sunrise Elementary, which is actually in East LA. And I went there for 3 years, and then I ended up going to Hollenbeck Middle School over there, but I only went for a semester because then my dad got a job at Champions as a welder. And so when he started doing that, we moved out here, so I had to start all over again. So I started in Jefferson at 6th grade, but I was in middle school over there. So then I got back to elementary school. Then I went to Steve Garvey when it was still Steve Garvey, and then went to the high school and graduated from the high school.
From Lindsay High School. Okay, shout out the Cardinals. And you were born in LA?
Yes, I was born in Monterey Park.
Oh, wow. And you were raised here?
No, well, see, the way my life worked is when I was born born in Monterey Park. I remember being in Downey, Whittier, and Monty. And then we ended up in Boyle Heights. And when we were in Boyle Heights, that's when I went third grade all the way up until 6th grade. And then I went to middle school. Well, at the time. And then so when I came over here, I was 11 years old.
Okay.
So I was 11. So when I got to Jefferson, I was a little bit older because I had been moving different schools. And I got not held back, but since I kept going to so many different schools, I was just a little bit older than most of the kids, and I was younger. I mean, I was in younger grades, but I was older. So I ended up at Jefferson, went to Garvey, and then I ended up at the high school.
Okay. And did you, speaking of schools, did you ever get in any type of school trouble? anything like that growing up?
I got in trouble most of the time for doing backflips at school.
Backflips. Why are you doing backflips, bro? Save it for PE.
Because I like to show off. So my thing is that when you're in LA, it's a big school. You want some people to know who you are.
Okay.
You have to do something.
Yeah. Call get people's attention. You got to stand out.
So my freshman year, I wish Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff was out. I got into the basketball court rim at the high school and I did a backflip off of it. And only the people that were there would say, "Oh, you were the guy." I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." And only the people that were there will ever remember it. But I did it, and when I did it, I said, "My name's H." Let everybody know. So like that whole week, everybody was looking for H to backflip, because I done that backflip. So
okay,
I wanted people to know who I was.
I feel that. And then, at what age did you start drinking?
To be honest with you, I started. Okay, look, I didn't start, but when I was much younger, I was like 15, 16, I had said, "Mom, can I get beer?" She said she would buy me a 6-pack. She said, "Yeah, you can have it, but you have to drink it you have to drink it here."
No way.
Yeah, it's here at the house. You want to drink? You can drink it here.
I always love those parents growing up.
Okay, go ahead. And then
we used to go to your house.
Just like, no, drink, come on, let's see, go. And then just like, "Mom, I don't want, you wanted to drink it? I don't want to drink any." So like it kind of stopped me.
Okay.
It kind of stopped me. So then
it make you drink till you got sick.
Yeah, it was terrible. I hated it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then so what ends up happening is I turned 21 and I'm like, all right, I could buy beer. So I start buying beer, having beer pong games at the house, playing King's Cup, doing it up. But
then you were still living at your mom's house?
No, I had moved out already. I had moved out when I was 18. And I had my own place, so I was out doing. So once I turned 21, I started having parties, doing everything. But after like 6 months of doing that, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, this is fun, but I had kids, so I was like, I'm not gonna keep doing this. So I took a big, huge break, and I didn't drink again until I turned 30. Then I started drinking again.
And then, did you ever do like sports or anything like that?
To be honest with you, in high school, since I was all about my friends and my homies, if my homies couldn't make the cut, I wouldn't do it either. So I kind of just hung out more with my friends. I really didn't do sports. I was just a kid at school.
Never did no wrestling, man, like that. Okay.
Well, I did do skateboarding, but since in LA there was a lot of streets you can go on, there was certain docks and stairs you can go to. Once we got to Lindsay, now we have a beautiful skate park. Shout out to Wake Skate Shop.
Okay. Shout out.
We didn't have that type of stuff when we got here, and I gave up skateboarding. So once we got to here, I was like, I can't pursue this. I can't continue because the streets were unpaved. There was the sidewalks weren't good. So.
And then I noticed you're only bringing up your mom a couple of times. Were your parents together, or did you just have your mom growing up?
My parents were together all my life, and so I had just had my first daughter, so I was already 18, and he kind of he did his own thing. Let's just say he did his own thing, and he got out of the picture, and so he wasn't around much. Even then, when I was a kid, he wasn't. He was a hard worker. I'm not gonna take that away from him. We always had a roof. We always had food. He did everything good. But as far as like having a dialogue or just trying to like, how was your day, mijo? Never got any of that stuff.
Father role.
Mijo, why are you painting your nails? Mijo, we need to go cut your hair. It was like we didn't have a relationship. So I didn't really have a relationship with my dad because he thought I was weird and.
And why are you painting your nails?
Because I like it.
Okay, yeah, okay, I feel that. So, so you never did no sports, nothing like that, and then your father was around, but he wasn't like that father role in your life. No. Okay, and then do you have any like funny drunk stories or anything like that?
Funny drunk stories?
Yeah, just something you did, and you're all fucked up with the boys, whatever. Like you're already laughing.
No. It's funny. There's a bunch of times where like I remember where I would get so drunk that we were at the party and I wake up and I'd be at home and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I made it home. Right? There's a lot of great stories, but one story for me in particular is one that I don't remember and that many people have been asking me, but honestly, I've never really talked about it just because I really didn't know the details. I had to find out details myself, but. Yeah, one time I got pretty drunk with one of my friends. We were at Giovanni's Pizza for his son's birthday, and then he's all like, "Hey man,
Getting all fucked up at your body.
Yes.
There's kids there, bro.
No, all we had was between me and him. We had like 2 pictures, and we had like 3 pictures, right? And then
Just
so,
you and your boy.
me and my boy, and then obviously some other homies pulled up, so we had
Okay.
another one. So I lost track. And
Is
then so
there
he's
even
like,
a bar there?
No, what he said was like, "Hey, we're gonna go
a Chuck
bar
E.
hop."
Cheese. For those that don't know what Joe Bodies is, he's getting fucked up at a Chuck E. Cheese. But you're gonna go bar hop. You start up at Joe Bodies.
That was the
crazy.
pregame at a
The
birthday party.
pregame. Okay, it's a pregame at Chuck E. Cheese.
Anyways, so he goes, "Hey, bro, let's go bar hopping in Visalia." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm down." So I go home. What did I even go do home? I don't know. He went, and then he's like, "Hey, man, I'm actually taking a girl. Is it cool if you just mob yourself?" And I'm like, "I didn't want to, but whatever, let's go."
Wait, are you driving though, or
I drove myself there. So
Okay.
he's on like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a homegirl with me. I'm gonna go, meet us up over there." So we ended up meeting up over there. So yeah, I went home. Like I said, I don't remember what I did. So I just ended up going to Visalia. So once I got over there,
Like downtown Visalia?
yes, downtown Visalia.
Okay, bar hopping, yeah.
Yes, we went bar hopping. So this is what I recall from the night. So we got to the bar.
I like that recall.
We got to this bar, right? And so
As you recall,
we get in there, and so I meet his homie. "Oh, what's up?" And then so we get another picture. So now it's 3 of us. So we drink the picture. So we're bar hopping. We're done, and I'm thinking like, he's like, "No, we're going to the next bar." And I'm like, "Really?" And yeah. So
Do you
let's go.
remember like the names of these bars? Or?
One in particular I do, because we hit up one bar where we got a picture. We hit another bar where we got a 6-pack with like the bucket.
Oh yeah, the bucket.
And then on the third one we went to Lum Lums.
Okay.
And we had what is called the Voodoo, which apparently it's like 16
I think that's like
or
their
17
famous drink
different
right there.
vodkas in one, and they mix it in a pitcher.
Yeah, it's like 16, 17
Yes.
different vodkas. Yeah, that's called the Voodoo, bro.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so we're already pretty messed up, right? I don't know why we're drinking this. I'm like, "Oh, actually it tastes good." So I'm drinking it like, this is delicious.
Like it's juice.
Yes. And so I get like 2 cups, and then I'm right there, and it's funny too because I remember at that point I'm like, I got balls now. So there was these girls at the table, and I go up and I sit next to them, and they're like, "Excuse me," and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my name's Umberto. Nice to meet you, ladies. Is anyone sitting here?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Why do you think you could sit there?" I'm like, "Well, you girls look like you're having a good time. I'm having a good time. Why not like let's?" And so one of the girls is all like, "Oh," I'm like, yeah, you can chill." My homie's like, "Hey, bro, we gotta go to the next bar." And I'm like looking at the girls. I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, "All right, ladies, it was fun," and I just left. Right? I should have stayed. That would have been a fun night. But instead, I decided to go with them, and then we ended up going to 2 other. We went to Rookies. And then it wasn't happening. Then we ended up at Culichi's, and when we were at Culichi's,
That shit sounds wild. Culichi's?
yeah,
I
it's
heard
called
that.
Culichi's in Visalia.
Is that still around?
I think so.
Culichi's, baby.
And so they were playing banda music, and I'm like, "Bro, I love to dance." I'm like pretty heavily.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that place was called Culichi's. I know
Yes,
exactly
they
what you're
play
talking about.
Spanish music,
They always
like
play,
banda,
right there at the little
yeah,
corner.
It's right there in the corner. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm putting it like Culichi's.
Yes. This guy is funny. And so then I was thinking, dude, I wanna dance. So the whole entire night I didn't pay for a single drink, bro. Everything was like she bought, he bought. They decided they were just having a good time. So when we were over there, I didn't buy none of the alcohol had been provided for me the entire day. We've been drinking since like 6. It's like midnight, and we're here at Culichi's. They have the music. So I'm like, those don't Julios. And then I put the money, and I'm like, all right, the 2, like I finally bought something. So I go to this girl next to me, and I'm like, "Hey, here, have it. Like, let's dance." And she's like, No, it's okay. So then I went to her friend, like, "Hey, here, like, take a shot. Like, dance with me." She's like, "No." So then I was pretty drunk. I was belligerently drunk at this point. So I'm asking every female.
Yeah, this
like,
is
"Hey,
definitely
take
after
it."
the voodoo.
Like,
You was gone, my
I'm
boy.
I'm just like, I got like 4 balls, bro. I'm just
I got that pop too, my boy.
anybody wanna. And so they're like, "Nah." And then my friend's like, "Hey, bro, like, you already asked every girl, like, just chill."
Nobody wants to dance with you, bro.
So I'm like, whatever. So I drank them both, dude. I promise you, I woke up in the hospital,
Oh shit!
and I was like, with a neck brace. I can't.
They knocked you out.
I can't even like, dude. I have a neck brace. I have all these needles in my arms. I got like all these things, and I'm like, what did I do? Like,
you like blacked out drunk? Or?
I know that's the last thing I remember. I was like this, like with the 2 shots. Woke up in the hospital.
No way.
I woke up in the hospital. Like that's all I remember.
Neck brace on.
Neck brace on, body brace on, bunch of needles everywhere. They had me on Norcos.
Were you like okay? So you weren't in any type of pain or nothing like that.
At the time, I really
any
wasn't
broken bones, anything like that.
Well, see, this is the thing is that I wasn't like I didn't like react to knowing that I was there till like 6 days later because they had me under so much heavy medication because they were just trying to have me sedated. So it took me like 6 days for me to like realize where I was at and what was happening. I was like, where am I? And she's like, you've been telling us that you've been here this whole time. I'm like, lady, there's a thing right there and it says what I'm eating. It says an accident. It says everything. I've been reading that board. Like I have unconsciously been reading it. Like how did I get here? She said, well, you were in a really bad car accident.
Oh, shit.
And I said, well, what happened?
Damn.
I said, well, what happened? And she said,
friends don't let friends drink and drive.
Well, see, I know. I learned my lesson.
But keep going.
And so I said, no, I don't know what happened. And she said, you were in an accident. You were ejected out of your window. And yeah, so I said, well, what happened? What did I break? I said, you fractured your face, you dislocated your jaw, you dislocated your left shoulder, elbow, wrist, fractured your forearm, you broke your neck, your back, you broke 9 ribs, you collapsed your lung, and you completely dislocated your hips.
Damn.
Oh, fast.
Wow. And this is why we do this, to try to wake people up. You know what I mean? We don't really encourage this. But if you have a story, man, we love hearing it. And, make sure y'all subscribe. And that is crazy, man. So you were all jacked up and really no memory.
No, I don't remember.
And how was your car? Do you have like pictures of
I
your
do have
car?
pictures. Do you mind if I show you I don't know if I can.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and show them on there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and post them on here. Just
okay, perfect.
The picture, they're already on there. Keep swiping. Yeah, but
well, the picture, so just explain.
Yeah. Oh, the picture. So the first picture, go ahead.
Okay, well, there's the pictures. There's a couple of pictures. There's a picture first of my car. So whenever I saw my car, and I saw my car for the first time, I was like, wait. They told me I hit a post. Why does my car look like this? And I'm looking at it, and they go, I was told I was flown out the window, and they're like, you flew out the sunroof window. You didn't fly out the window. You flew out the sunroof window.
You obviously weren't wearing a seatbelt, were you?
I was not. The report says that I was not wearing a seatbelt. So what ended up happening is I drove my car off Rocky Hill, and as it was coming off, I hit a post.
In this picture right here?
Yes, in this picture right here.
Okay.
And apparently it went through 3 different orchards, and it hit a post, and I was ejected when I hit the post. So when it hit the post, I flew out, and it kept tumbling down, and I ended up, because whenever I went to go pick up the car.
So you completely flew off of like the cliff up there. You were all the way at the top?
As the car hit, I was ejected, and I landed somewhere over here, and the car kept tumbling down.
Dude, the car, wow, man, that thing could have crushed you, bro.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I think if I had ended up staying in the car, I wouldn't have made it because the damages were ridiculous. Like even when I got there, they were telling me we don't think anybody had survived who crashed that car. We didn't think, and I was there and I was walking. I'm like, I'm here, and I just need to get a couple things out of it. And I'm like, okay, go ahead.
But at no point in time were you like ever in a coma or anything like that?
No, the thing is that as far as my family's concerned, I was conscious, right? For like 3 or 4 days that they were there, they saw me, but I don't remember like seeing them. I don't remember talking to them. And everybody kept telling me that I was like singing and stuff. But like I said, I was on Norcos, fentanyl, melatonin, muscle relaxers. I was being sedated to like not.
No, but
so like
remember all those drugs.
Even when I was,
don't remember what happened, but you remember everything he was on.
Even when I would wake up, it would be like, oh, here's your food, and then you'd eat, and I'd be like, here's your pills, and then you're asleep again. So like I would just wake up to eat, wake up to take my vitals. But then like one time I had a nightmare, like during the 6 days that I was there, I had a nightmare that I got stabbed. So I grabbed it and I pulled it out.
Oh,
But when I pulled it
damn.
out, I had my chest tubes because I had collapsed my lung. So when I pulled it out, it was the first time that my pain had surpassed the medication. And I was like, where am I? What's happening? What's going on? Like, what's. So that night, I was like, because I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I was like, really, like, I can't believe I just pulled it. And then so I just like, what am I doing in this hospital? So the next day, whenever they asked me like, do you know why you're here? Do you know what's going on? I said, no, I don't know. And then that's when I started asking all the questions, and that's when I knew all those fractures that happened, all those broken bones. I didn't know anything about the car. I didn't know anything that had happened. I just woke up there. It was pretty crazy.
Wow. And who would you say was there for you the most when you were in the hospital?
My dad. Shout out to my dad.
And that's why I wanted to ask that, okay? Because there's people that, you know, that are out there and they swear that their homies are there for them. But when shit hits the fan, I'm telling you right now, the only people that is going to be there is going to be your moms or people that really care about you. So, you know, hopefully that can wake some of the viewers up. That's crazy. Were you on drugs that night, though, or was that just alcohol?
Marijuana too.
Marijuana? Okay.
I don't fuck with anything else. It's either cigarettes, marijuana, or beer. I do tequila. I will do vodka, but I really don't like all of this stuff.
Okay.
To be honest.
All right. Yeah. No, you know what? That story actually reminds me of a story myself because there was one time where I was all hammered and I actually did some Xannies that night. And it's fucking crazy, bro, because I was with a coworker at work and I had never done these, bro. Never done these in my life. And we're like fucking mid-shift and he gives me a half a bar. And I'm like, all right, so I popped this half a bar. You know, I'm feeling good now, bro. At work, we done closed the store up early, bro. Like, he's like, yeah. And he's talking about he's going to go home after the shift. And I'm like, hell no, you not. Like, I'm still trying to kick it, fool. So he's like, well, I don't have a car. Like, my mom's going to pick me up. He said, we're going to go to my spot, get all fucked up, do the rest of these bars. I'll drop you off. Like, it was good, right? I had the whole night padded out, a whole night just padded out. Or, you know, it ends up getting late and it's probably like 2 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take. And at this time I was living in Exeter and he lived in Tulare. So these towns, for those of you that don't know, are probably about 15, 20 minutes from each other.
Just about.
So I end up leaving the house, bro. I dropped him off. Well, when I was on my way back home, dude, I freaking ended up wrecking, bro. I wrecked and this ain't even my car. This is my grandma's car, bro. So I wrecked my grandma's car, right? And I smacked into this pole. Well, this pole, bro, like it was close to the dairy. So like as soon as I crashed, bro, I'm looking at the dairy and the lights to all the cows are going boom, boom, boom. I'm like, damn, bro. And this is loud, bro. You know, it's like 2 a.m, bro. The putazo was loud, bro.
Damn.
So here come the dudes from all that work in the dairy. You know, I could see their headlights coming. So I go and I'm ducking like kind of like in the field. And they see the car, you know, and then they drive away. And I'm like, dude, cops are on their way for sure. My phone's dead, bro, so I can't even call nobody. So I go back to the car, I put my phone on the charger real quick. And it gets to like 1%. I turn it on and I call my mom, like, hey, I just wrecked, like, come pick me up, you know? Hey, mama's boy, nigga. Watch out, bro. Mom, mommy. You know, I'm like, you know, I called my mama, homie. I done called my mom's, bro. So my mom, you know, she pick up the phone because she always there and like, oh, mijo, ya voy para allá, fucking. So this is on the street. I crashed in the Arco. I already got charged for this too. It's a hit and run. I'm telling all the details, bro. So I didn't crash, bro, where the Arco's at in Tulare.
Okay.
You know where the Arco is, the AMPM in Tulare? Yeah. So I wrecked from somewhere between the first stop sign and there, like kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But more down here. Man, matter of fact, I'll probably pull up some pictures. This picture right here. They don't got that pictures, bro. I mean, there might be on my Snap. I'll look for them if I'll post it, right? So, like, I'm looking down, bro, and I can see the cop lights coming from all the way down the street, bro. Oh, so I'm like, man, I got to dip, right? So I take my phone off the charger, lock the car, and I start running.
Why you lock the car?
Lock the car, bro. Then I remembered, bro, that I left beer in the car. Me and the boy, I just bought like a 12-pack. He probably took like 4 or 5, so I got like a 6-pack, bro, like 7 beers, bro, and 1 open. So I grab the open beer, I throw it in the case, and I'm running down the street, bro, because the cop light's coming. and I'm running down the street, bro, and the pack rips, bro. So now in the middle of the street, bro, is a broken glass pack of a 12 pack, bro, leading right to the direction I'm running to, bro. So I look in the 12 pack, and there's 2 beers that didn't break. All the other beers broke, bro. So I fucking grab my 2 beers and I take off running, bro. I take off running. And I had to walk from Tulare all the way to Exeter, bro.
Oh, dude.
And
it's not a bad drive, but that's a far walk.
Dude, yeah, very far walk. I remember I crashed at 2 in the morning, and I ended up getting home probably like at 7, 8 in the morning. The sun was already coming up. And dude, as soon as I'm walking through the yard, my girl's already like, man, the fucking cops are looking for you. Fucking, they already went in your grandma's pad because the car was registered under my grandma's name. Like, your grandma's worried. They try to handcuff her. I'm like, man, I'm going to hell, bro. Like, real shit, bro. And I'm like, man, don't trip. I'll fucking call them when I wake up. You know, I'm all fucking zannied out, bro. Fucking knocked out, bro. So when I woke up, I ended up calling the cops. And I'm like, well, shit, my grandma wasn't going to go down for it. You know, I'm not that much of a dirtbag. Fuck, have my abuelita right there eating sopas, homie. Come on, bro. I'm like, nah, bro. Fucking right away, face the music. I got on the phone. I'm like, you know what? Fucking, it was me. My grandma had already told them it was me. And they're like, why'd you run? And I ended up telling them, like, look, bro, I crashed in the middle of nowhere at 2 in the morning. My phone's dead. Like, you expect me to knock on someone's door that lives in the country? Like, these fools are going to open the door with the fucking shotgun, bro. Thinking someone's trying to break into their pad. Like, hey, if you lived in the cuts, you know, bro, someone knocking at your door 2, 3 in the morning, you got to blame me, bro. What the fuck you doing, bro? After the dog already done bitch your ass, bro. Like, I'm cool, so... Yeah, that ended up happening.
That's crazy.
That's a crazy one.
You ran away from the lights.
Yeah, bro. And, you know,
shit, I forgot the beer.
Yeah, I ended up breaking the beer. You know, they tried to charge my grandma for it. And then,
2 beers?
yeah, so the reason I took those 2 beers, because I was like, I'm going to drink one and I'm going to leave one full for if I see a dog or something, I'm going to fucking chuck the beer at it. Because I ain't have no, like... I'm in chanclas, bro, to top it off, bro. Like, I just left my pad to go drop them off, and I'm walking in sandals, bro. Brand new pair of sandals, bro. I got home hella muddy, just straight hit the bed, bro. And then, yeah, I ended up getting charged for a hit and run. They gave me like 30 days in jail. Yeah. You know, shit, how am I going to have my grandma do that, bro? Like, fuck, I had to face the music. She was pissed, though, because she had to take out the car and... You know, shit, I ain't had no money, bro. So, like, she was pissed. She never let me drive her car again, man. Wow. I didn't even go get tortillas, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to like, look at the, like, I'll look at Mama, no, mijo, I'll take you. It's like, and I'll look. My dad will be like, no, where do you need to go? But it's just like, man, come on, guys. I'm not gonna do that again. Sure.
Yeah, and can't you just pull up right now? This guy's crazy right now. Cheers, my boy. So we don't promote it, you know what I mean? At least, you know, I'm getting a ride home. You know what I'm saying? But one talk can. But one of the most famous questions, and you know what? If you guys have a question that you guys would like us to ask our previous guests, please put that in the comment. The most liked question will be asked as promised. But one of the most famous questions on the show is, you know, have you ever got a DUI?
Yes, that night.
And that was your only DUI?
Yeah, that was my only DUI. I had many nights where like I said, I blacked out, but I was home. Or at least woke up in the car parked next to the house. But that night, waking up in the hospital, it was just like, what happened? And once everything, they're like, okay, you were obviously inebriated. And then, like, I started gaining, oh, that's right, we went to a birthday, like, but I had no, like, I don't remember anything about it.
Okay, you know what?
That was my DUI.
It's crazy because that night, I also blacked out. And, you know, I obviously think it was because of the bars. But the craziest thing is that you don't remember anything, bro. You don't remember anything. And as the days and the weeks and the months go by, little bits and pieces little come to your recollection. Little tiny things that happen start recollecting in your mind, bro. And then you end up almost piecing it together like a puzzle.
That's what I said at the beginning, as I recall, because I don't really remember.
Yeah.
It was more of a recollection of events that happened that night. and then the events after, because that whole day was a blur, and then the next 6 days were a blur. So like it was just crazy. But luckily, since I didn't hit anybody and nobody got injured but
That
me,
part, bro.
it was just they let me go. I didn't go to jail. Nothing happened. Everything was taken care of. So
Yeah, no, definitely,
let me
dude. Because I know of people that have not been so fortunate and they've hit other people while they were drinking, and it's like it could literally happen to anybody.
yeah.
So that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah,
You
that
didn't
was
hit nobody
I
that
didn't
night.
hit nobody. It was all just me.
And did they bill you for the damage or anything like that?
They tried to.
What do you mean they tried? I never heard they tried.
Nah, you know it's
They done
funny.
build your ass. You ain't pay that
No,
shit.
it's funny because like Charter kept trying to get hold of me for the longest. They're like, "Bro, you took out one of our poles," and I'm like, "I don't remember. Like, what was your car? It was you. I wasn't in the car." It's because I wasn't. I told them I wasn't in the car.
I was ejected. How was I in the car?
I hit, and I was over there, bro. The car, I don't know, but they haven't hit me up since. So
I don't recall that.
I don't remember taking out a pole, bro. I don't remember anything.
And then I had a question from you. So earlier you said that and one of the rules was we do not lie on the mic.
Yes, that's
I
right.
asked you if you did wrestling, and you said no, but I have heard from some of the local natives here that you used to wrestle back in the day.
See, look, there was no wrestling in school. I actually tried to get a wrestling team started, and I had to get like a petition. I had so many signatures, but there wasn't any kids interested at the time to do wrestling. Nobody wanted to do wrestling in school. But when I was in LA, we used to have this thing called NFW, which was called No Fear Wrestling. And what we did was we're in LA, right? So we would go behind alleys and we'd go get mattresses, and there was 10 of us. There was 10 kids.
Shit.
And we'd go get mattresses, and then we would take them and we'd walk them all the way because our homie had a backyard, and it was like that. So we ended up getting 3 mattresses here, 3 mattresses here, and we're like, nah, it doesn't look good. Then we got some king size mattresses, and then we ended up making it to where it looked like a ring, right? And it was a ring.
Damn.
And then so we would backyard wrestle, and at the time, since there was so much people, we'd go put signs everywhere. Go come watch wrestling all over the city, like all these papers all over. And we would have like random people that would come and they would watch us. And we didn't think we would get an audience, so we would do music and stuff, and we would do like little shows. It only happened for a few months because they were much older than us and they had other things to do. We were just kids at the time. But when I moved out here, the reason that I knew how to do the backflips was because of wrestling. Like that's what inspired me to want to do one, because I watched people like Rey Mysterio, Rob Van Dam. I watched Jeff Hardy,
Triple H. That's where you got H from.
No.
Yeah, it's all sinking in right now.
No.
Is it true that Triple H was your favorite wrestler?
For a period of time. For a period of time, he was. But my all-time favorite has always been Rob Van Dam. So I have like a hardcore style to me. So on top of wrestling, a lot of his moves incorporated chairs, tables, ladders, and he would use them with his move set to do his moves. So,
and you guys had tables, chairs, and ladders in your crib.
And our favorite, the cookie sheet. You can't beat the sound of a cookie sheet to a dome. Like that sound, it sounds so crisp. Just
a cookie sheet?
Yeah, the cookie sheet. No, that was our. Yeah, so you grab the cookie sheet and you do like a move with it and you land with it, and then so when I would get here, I would do a lot of backflips. That's what inspired me to start doing backflips off of high things and doing stuff, because I was already the nails. Jeff Hardy used to do his nails. I love Jeff Hardy's look. And he
had them black, or what does the black mean? What does that mean? Does that mean something?
Well, see, the only other color I've done them is red, but to be honest, black is already a color that I get judged enough for. When I get red, it goes out the door. It just goes beyond that of, oh, you're painting your nails. Oh, you're painting your nails red now. What does that mean? And it's like, dude, I like it. So I do black. Growing up as a kid, I was raised by my grandma, my mom, and my aunts. And they would take me to go do their nails, and they'd take me to the salon. And so I grew up more around women than so as my father, because my father would get home and he would go run his errands and he wasn't home for the rest of the day, so I would spend my time. So when I walk into one of those shops and I smell that, it reminds me of all those good times I had with my grandma, with my mom, with my aunts, and the hair, it was also part of it. So it was always part of me. And like I said, I really love when I seen Jeff Hardy with his long hair and his painted nails and all that, I'm like, I love that stuff. Like, why isn't that more normalized? But it's frowned upon, and it was very much in the 90s. So I would get a lot of bullies and stuff in school because they would say like, "Oh, you have your nails painted, you need to go into the girls' bathroom, or you have long hair." And so because of being bullied, I got into wrestling. I started watching ECW. I started watching ECW. I started watching WWF at the time. Like I started watching all those programs and watching how they fought. And then so I ended up beating all 6 of my bullies one day and almost got expelled from school.
In the same day?
And yes.
No way.
Because when I was in grade school,
we're not gonna take it.
they bullied me for 3 years, putting gum in my hair, spitting in my backpack, taking my money for my cookies, not letting me into the restroom when they were around. Like they bullied me, so I learned wrestling. I DDT'd one of the kids. I broke his tooth. I chokeslammed another kid, and he didn't want to fall on his back, so he turned. He broke his arm. I pedigreed another kid, and he had like a fucking dude. He had like a fucking unicorn shit.
And this is going out to all the people who say wrestling's fake.
No,
my man's breaking arms.
I started doing wrestling moves. I did wrestling moves. So then we were all in the office, all the kids, the parents all pulled up, and I was explaining to them, these kids have been bullying me for years. I needed to do something. And one of the kids fessed up, and when he did it, another kid did, and they're like, yeah, we've been bullying him for all these years, you know, look at him. And they were trying to, because the teachers, when I would go tell teachers, they'd be like, well, why are your nails black? Well, why is your hair long? Instead of protecting me, instead of telling the kids to bug off, they would encourage the behavior.
And this was in the 90s. How old are you?
Like 3rd grade, so I was what, like 8, 7.
No, I'm saying now. How old are you now?
35.
35. And you feel like you were judged a lot then?
I still get judged.
You still get judged. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, because then the teachers weren't backing you up.
No, the teachers, they wouldn't. They would see the behavior that was happening, and they wouldn't encourage it, but they'd be like, well, you are a boy. Don't paint your nails. Like, go get a haircut. And I'm like, you're supposed to be defending me. You're supposed to be telling them, like, don't be doing this. This is bad. Mm-hmm. And instead, they were like, hey, I have some questions for you, too. Male and female teachers. It wasn't a thing that was, like, accepted back in my school. I was the only boy that looked the way I did, that dressed up all in black, and that was always this way. It's just who I am.
And I have a very important question. Who the hell were you wrestling with? You know, when you had all that whole ring, the ladders, and like, who the fuck were you wrestling with?
My uncles. I had 2 uncles.
2 Theos, all right.
My brother. And then
makes sense.
Well,
it was just the family
before
thing.
Before we would wrestle, we used to skateboard a lot. That's another way where we get the matches really fast. We just put them on the skateboards and push them. But so once we did all this, there was 10 of the kids because in LA,
king size on a skateboard.
Yes,
You're crazy.
a couple of skateboards. We made it happen. So before I came here and I was over there and like I said in LA, whatever we wanted to do, we would do, and I would. Practicing wrestling, I was studying wrestling, so I was all these bullies that had been bullying me for so long were gonna get it. So I had mentioned it, and so we started doing backyard wrestling. We started having people show up. We started beating and we were
getting
wrestling.
The Batista bomb coming.
Yeah, we were learning. I was learning my technique for the day that I pulled up on these homies, and I was gonna teach them a lesson. And I did. And so after they admitted that they were doing that, the principal just said, what's gonna happen now is you guys can continue the school. Nobody's gonna expelled, but you guys must hang out together for the rest of the year. And it was like 2 weeks left of school.
So you got to know them?
Well, kinda, not really. Like 2 of them were cool. Like I ended up getting to know them.
They weren't messing with you anymore.
But the other 3 were the instigators. They were the ones that started it. So I didn't really want to like hang out with them. Like I didn't mind them being in my presence, but as far as like me like talking to them, no, dude, you were the one that would tell him, or you were the one encouraging this behavior. I'm not gonna talk to you. So there was 3 of them that I didn't talk to, but the other 3 that I did get along with. And after I went to middle school, I was only there for a semester, and then I moved out, so I didn't really get to know them, because then I had moved over here to Lindsay.
Oh, okay, man.
And then so I tried doing some backyard wrestling here. I did.
With who?
With because me and my brother.
Oh, the brothers and the Theos.
Yeah, no. In LA,
but it wasn't like the mattresses.
No, that was because there was 10 of us. Like I said, in LA it was different because In Lindsay, everybody knows everybody. Everything's cool. And in LA, it's not like that. It's your street, your barrio, your hood, like your chain. Because when we would skate out to like other places, you would skate down certain streets where you weren't allowed to. Like you would be notified immediately. Do not come over here. Like do not. So we would protect. Whenever someone would come tag up our streets, we would go with our skateboards and tell them to like leave. This is art. So we would take care of our own. And there was 10 of us, and those 10 kids, including 2 of my uncles and my brother, would all do the backyard wrestling. They were much older than us, like 3, 4 years older than us, but we all enjoyed wrestling together. We loved doing it. So we had like, instead of fireworks, we'd get, so 4th of July, we would save all the fireworks for our entrances. So we'd light them up as we'd come in with our music. And we would do that for the fans because we wanted to be creative and wanted to do that. But
Oh, there was fans.
there was fans.
Yeah.
Because we would go all around the streets and just on the skateboard, just, hey, you go that way, you go that way. And we just stick them all
You should have
over.
been pro, my boy.
Well, no, they would charge $2. They would charge $2 at the door. And
We
it was
could have been
just
Nacho
$2.
Libre and Esqueleto, my boy. Straight up.
I see that happening. I can see that happening. I'm down.
one day out of retirement. Yeah, dude, no, that's definitely crazy. You had fans, fireworks, the whole night.
Yeah, no, it was really fun during that time, and it was more of their take on it, but we were just part of it. Like we weren't behind the scenes. We would just show up. I was what is called a jobber. It doesn't matter how long the match is. Doesn't matter how good the match is. You're gonna lose. And I was aware of that. Like I'm okay. I'm the rookie. I'm barely start. They were older than me, so we'd have these great matches. And then I'd lose. And then I'd lose. And then they'd come back like a few weeks later because we'd have another one, and they would chant for me. And I would at that point I understood like it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's who they remember. It's who they remember. So that's why to me it's always been a thing about like I like to be remembered by certain things, either what I do or what I'm wearing or how I am. I like to be thought about, I guess.
Okay.
Makes sense.
No, yeah, I definitely feel that. And then did you guys have like ropes and stuff? Like
no, at that
jumping.
at that certain time.
You bounce off the wall.
Well, see, the way we did it, yes, the way we did it was that there was a thing right here where we were able to climb up. We were able to climb up this like I don't know, it was a fucking stack of 2x4. I don't fucking know. It was like this, and there was like a padding right there. So if you ever wanted to whip somebody, you had to whip them. Like, so you had to whip them in that direction because they would push you back.
Okay.
So you couldn't, don't push it. No, there's nothing that way meant to like, you're going to fall to the audience. No, if you were going to whip somebody, it had to be that direction. So you whip them, they would hit it and they come back. And if they're going to dodge, it's got to be a dodge turn, not a keep running because you're going to run right on out of the mattresses. Yeah.
Man, that brings me back. Me, myself, dude, I remember we used to have these little bags. This wasn't wrestling though, but we do like boxing in the back of when my uncle, rest in peace, we'd be right there and then everybody just going on, throwing blows and stuff. So yeah, that's crazy. Was there anything you would like to tell the audience before we end this interview?
No, not really. Just kidding. Don't drink and drive, man. It's not a good idea. I really wasn't expecting for what happened to happen, but it just, you want to have a good time and you want to create good times, but you got to be responsible about it. You really do. You do, because ever since then, it's just like...
It's changed. Would you say it's changed your life?
Most definitely.
Really?
Most definitely.
In what way?
In the way that sometimes I might think this is what I want to do, but in the moment it might seem okay and I gotta just think about the future. I think that's what I think it made me think more about the future. Yes, the people in my life and the future that need me. So it's just like I gotta be more responsible about certain things, gotta know about everything and just taking accountability for what I do.
Okay, I like that.
So it was just
more responsible.
Yeah.
You were careless.
At that certain time, I had a bunch of friends telling me like, "Hey man, slow down." Like something like I can sense it.
Wow,
like,
you didn't listen.
Before everything happened, it had been like 3 weeks. Like where certain people in my life kept telling me like, "H, like slow down, bro. Like something's happened. Like I don't know what's."
No way.
One of my friends said, like, "You're a video game guy, bro. If you see a bullet coming at you, what do? You dodge it. You jump over. You do something." He goes, "Something's happening. You need to slow it down." At that time, yeah. So at that time, I was pretty careless, and I pretty much did everything for. And now I'm just like, I gotta think more about the people in my life that need me. Think about that before me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why were you careless? What caused that? What?
Having a good time.
Having a good time.
Just having a good time and not thinking about like the whole YOLO life, that type. Like, who cares? Who cares what happens? I'm just gonna do this right now. And now it's more, I think, who cares? No, it's like I care, because if anything right here happens, then it takes all these things out of my life that I want in my life. And so I can't do certain things like that anymore.
And it was only that one car wreck you've ever been in. You've never been in no other car wreck, nothing like that?
No, not really. The thing is that I love driving, and I'm a pretty good driver. I don't understand how I managed to, from blacked out, drunk, drive from Visalia, downtown Visalia, all the way up to Rocky Hill and drive off of it, right? Like, I don't understand how that happened.
I'm pretty sure you were speeding too, bro.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And from the report, I went up and turned around, so I managed to do that. How could I don't understand what ended up happening after that. But no, man, I'm working on getting my license back still, so I'm not driving, so I don't really have to think about the certain things. And then if I do drink, it's at home with someone that I can trust. I don't go out and
all right,
I don't do it like that anymore, I guess.
My boy's lying. He's lying on the mic. He's driving, and he's not drinking at the house. So I'm gonna call you out. You lying, man. My only rule. But yeah, man. You know what? I appreciate having you on the show. It was a great time. Do you have an IG, Snapchat, anything you'd like to give to the people to follow you, find
on Instagram,
you? How they get a hold
or
of
you? Facebook? It's your boy H.
Your boy H.
Yeah, and it's just underscore underneath all of them, but that's it. Your boy H.
Your boy H.
It's BOI, not BOY.
Okay, BOI.
What was your wrestling name?
Oh yeah, the wrestling name. We gotta get that.
My wrestling name at the time was Venom.
Venom. Why Venom?
Because I was the bad guy.
Okay.
I was gonna lose. No matter what, like, no matter how much I wanted to be like the guy that everybody still cheered for me.
Yeah, it's crazy to get someone.
I was like an Eddie Guerrero type wrestler.
You know, because everybody likes the Spider-Man. Nobody really likes the Venom. So to be named that, like, you were definitely different, bro.
I was the bad guy, and certain times I felt like I wish I could be the good guy, but whenever I do wrestling and you tell a story, and I was really good at telling the story. Like, I'm gonna make sure everyone here hates me by the end of the night. And so when he wins, everybody's cheering, but because I put such a good show, they would come back to watch me again. It started an avalanche of things that kind of created who I was at the end, because if everybody had accepted me for how I looked and how I was, then I wouldn't have had to have like learn how to wrestle and how to do this and that to, you know, I still loved it and it was cool. But when I would do it with an aggression, and I would do it with like a passion that I was going to hurt these kids that bullied me, right? So it made me a better wrestler. So whenever we would go these backyard wrestling matches, they would be like, "Hey man, you're really good." And I'm like, "Thank you. Like, I appreciate it. I'm the bad guy, but okay." And people would come and say like, "You're really good." And it was because I was so angry and so frustrated that every move that I did, I wanted to make sure I did so good. Because we thought wrestling was real. We're doing on mattresses, mind you. Like, I'm giving a DDT.
Yeah, because how are you practicing when you say you were practicing?
Well,
like on your brothers, where you're using like a pillow.
The way it works is you would go. So two people go, and so when it comes to wrestling, like I said, it's a story. There's gonna be locks. There's gonna be Irish whips. There's gonna be an exchange of moves, and so then as this is going on.
Sorry, no, I'm painting the picture.
So as it's going on, no, because I've been trained by 3 different trainers. I was trained by this guy who used to wrestle for WCW, and when he trained me, he said, "Do you have any prior training?" And I said, "No, just backyard wrestling." Because when it comes to real wrestling, there's 5 fundamental moves: a back bump, a front roll, a back roll, and side rolls. Once you learn how to like do those repeatedly over and over until you like can do it. I can do any move on you and say, hey dude, do a back bump, and you're gonna know exactly what to do.
No, nah,
Hey
on
dude,
this
do a
fool.
side roll, boom. And you know, because once you learn those fundamental movements in wrestling, everything else comes naturally and you add your own style to it. And so my style is, it's not like American, it's not Mexican, and it's its own style, which now I found out is called strong style, which is the Japanese wrestling that I was doing back in the 90s that I didn't know was that. But basically, on top of that, we used chairs. On top of that, we used cookie sheets and tables and all that stuff.
Why were you taking your mom's cooking sheet, bro? You know she needed that for the enchiladas, bro.
Back then, $1.99 stores were actually 99 cents, so you can go with $1 and you can get a cookie sheet. Like back then, like not
now.
Not
No,
anymore.
can't get nothing.
No.
There's not even a 99-cent store. You know,
It's a $1.25 tree now, right? Something like that.
Dollar Tree. You were close, because it is, you know, $1.25. Okay, but it's the boy H on IG. Shout out the cameraman. You know what I mean? Couldn't be done without him. Again, powered by Dark Alley Network, the live audience from Oxnard. My boy H, it was a pleasure to have you here. And if you guys, you know, want to be on the show, buy me a Tallie, or we take all sponsors. We do not discriminate. Peace out.
That's me, bro. That's
There's
when
no
I
way
woke
that's
up.
you.
Oh,
Does he go back?
Go back.
That's you.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
that's not you.
That don't even look like you.
No.
God damn.
I woke up in
That
the
ain't
morning.
Guy like a motherfucker.
Oh, your eyes.
Someone farted on your pillow and you crashed.
Let's see your scars.
No, look at this.
You
Check.
tried
Let's
both
see this
eyes.
video goes. Look, this is where the tubes in my chest.
That's the one you took out, fool?
That's the one I pulled out, bro. Whenever I was.
Wait, what was that for?
That was because
This one got in a car wreck
I
and he got
collapsed. I
ejected.
collapsed my lung.
That's why we try to tell people,
See
wear your
the back of your
seatbelt.
neck?
Y'all need to wear your
Look
seatbelt.
at the back of the neck.
Look.
You still have that? Let me see.
Let's
And
see.
look, it's right there.
Let me see.
Is that why your hair's long or what?
Oh.
Then this is where
Jeter.
this is where all the.
Oh, shit, man.
funny they look
Yeah,
like-
keep your
It's like
shirt on. Keep your
gunshots.
shirt on.
Damn, they got a
Yeah, keep your shirt on, bro. Keep your shirt on, bro.
That's crazy, dude.
That's where they are right here.
Thank you for stopping though.
No, I appreciate you
yeah.
having me through, bro. Making the time. I really appreciate it.
You're
Don't
blessed,
speak
man.
up on
Rest
me,
be
cause it
alive,
will get
bro.
attacked.
We're
Up
nobody.
in Cali, we about it, that's why they so mad.
Stop playing.
Everybody on
Goddamn
the
it.
mob shit, pull up, try rob shit. Funny how they drive out, but I'm hopping out the car, bitch.